Hello, I am Tipton Chatterjee from 7th Quantum Academy with Casimir effect. Casimir effect. That is a wonderful effect of the first effect before the birth of the universe, even at the same time or just a little bit after the Planck's wording. What is Casimir effect? This Casimir effect is one of the wonder of the universe which is creating the force carrier particle. You know that in time of the birth of the universe, before the birth of universe, there was a world called Planck's world, and its Planck's world was creating the universe which is visible or invisible, which we are acquainted with now, was giving the birth of our own universe. But between these two phases, there the first birth of the force was taking place, that is called Casimir effect. This wonderful, unheard and unsung power of the universe gave the rise to such an extent of the universe that may be visible or invisible, and creating the first particle that is called graviton, and also with the anti-graviton, antiparticle. So Casimir effect is actually a force. A force. Casimir effect is creating actually a force, but this force is not gravitational force, or this force is not electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. This is one type of force which is creating the force carrier particles. That is the father of force, father of force, father of force, giving the scope of the force carrier to go ahead for making this universe every now and then. Now, how does this Casimir effect come? How does this Casimir effect work? How did the Casimir effect come into existence? To understand it, we have to go through different events. You know, according to the string theory and according to the quantum physics, there was an event called quantum vacuum fluctuation. In my earlier video, I told you that the first event which takes place before the birth of this visible or invisible universe is actually the quantum vacuum fluctuation. Quantum vacuum is not at all any vacuum. Quantum vacuum is actually a position where existence and non-existence, everything and nothing, yes and no, are co-residing at same place, and frequently they are annihilating and creating each other. So the annihilation and creation are going on, that is called quantum vacuum. And how was it represented mathematically, I told you in the earlier video. After the birth of quantum vacuum fluctuation, the Planck's world came. But now we will have to think in different way. If there is a fluctuation, if there is existence and non-existence, if we are thinking that existence and non-existence, existence, non-existence, everything, non-everything is taking place one after another so frequently that is equal to no time. So there is an oscillation. Yes and no, yes and no, yes and no, everything, nothing, everything, nothing, everything, nothing is creating an oscillation. Doesn't that? When this oscillation coming into existence, then there must be a wavelength, then there must be a frequency, then there must be a propagation, and then there must be an amplitude. These all properties are taking place just after the quantum vacuum fluctuation. As the quantum vacuum fluctuation took place, these all properties, that is the formation of the wave, started. This is the first phase of the formation of wave in the visible and invisible universe, which is not at all a complete wave, but a part of the wave taking part at the time. You know, in quantum physics, that wave and particle are the same. That is wave-particle duality property. This wave-particle duality property is always there. You can think something like this as a wave, you can think something like as a particle. But for the convenience of our understanding and research, we will take it as a particle, because we will have to find out that how did this force come into existence. This Casimir effect and Casimir force is a wandering force. When this oscillation starts, naturally there an wavelength was created. This wavelength is equal to Planck's length, that is 1.62 into 10 to the power minus 35 meter, the smallest discrete length in visible and invisible universe. This length has been created there. When the second quantum fluctuation taking place, the first one is going ahead. As it going ahead, its length is getting increased. So the first one is with lesser length and second one with larger length. That means there is a boundary between these two, because the properties of these two steps of this length are different. This boundary, which is between these two lengths, is considered as a plate in two-dimensional area. As a two-dimensional area, it is creating a plate which is imaginary, but to gain the mystery of this Casimir effect, we have to think it. When the second part of this wave created, then another plate was created. So there is a space between these two plates. In these two plates, an attraction or repulsion is taking place. Because creation and annihilation taking place every time. When the space between these two plates is being annihilated, then these two plates is coming closer together, that is the attraction. And when it is taking birth again within that place, it is getting repulsed. So it is one kind of attraction and repulsion force, not charged. Mind it, no charge is there then. It is only a force which is created due to the quantum vacuum oscillation, an unknown force that was created, that is Casimir effect. After Casimir effect, when this force started to grow, ultimately this went to another effect between these two. Wave which is left, if we consider it as a particle, normally this particle is the first fundamental particle of the invisible and visible universe, that is called graviton, which is creating the quantum gravity loop, and thereafter the gravitation. Not only graviton, as it is being created, graviton is being created and it is being annihilated, then anti-graviton. So graviton, anti-graviton, graviton, anti-graviton, graviton, anti-graviton, that is existence, non-existence, existence, non-existence, graviton, anti-graviton, graviton, anti-graviton, everything and nothing taking place there. So this quantum vacuum fluctuation giving the birth of this Casimir effect. But this Casimir effect, how can be a running documentary mathematically? Let us take this force be called as capital F. If we take capital F as the Casimir force, then it will be equal to two separate identities. The first identity is the property that initially been taken by this particle, and the second one is the property that is being taken as a result of the first property in the right hand side of the equation. But what will be there, the event? If the Casimir effect is a force and force is denoted at capital F, then it will be equal to, first let us take minus. Why minus? Because annihilation and creation is taking place all the time. I told you in the Planck's world there was a field operator, then an annihilator operator and creator operator. Both are working at that time. This is the Planck world's mystery. So if we do not give any symbol that is only plus, it cannot be understood that annihilation can also take place. So at the very beginning, in the right hand side of the equation, we take the sign minus. After the sign minus, we must have to take the reduced Planck constant, that is h bar. Then it is minus h bar. Why? You know the Planck constant is actually the multiplications of the energy and momentum. A particle is somewhere else, it is getting a frequency, that is it's an energy. And when it is getting displaced, it is getting a momentum. So the multiplication of this momentum and first point is always constant, that is Planck constant. But if you think that it is spinning, then it have also a frequency, angular frequency. This angular frequency when gives a total rotation, then it is getting a 2 pi. 2 pi, why 2 pi? Because pi equal to 180 degree and 2 pi equal to 360 degree, one complete spin. So if we divide the Planck constant by 2 pi, then it shows that how much energy is there in a certain point at stable position. To find out the mystery of the force, we must find out the stable position. So the second part, that means the right hand side first part will be minus h bar. But it may be stable, but there is always an oscillation in it. This oscillation is taking a speed of light, because this particle will have no mass, no charge, so it will have the same speed of light. So it is running with the speed of light for the next portion, for its next length creation. So minus h bar into c. So the right hand side, so far F equal to minus h bar c. In this position, we will have to think that total system again starts to spin. It is natural, it will spin. It was in a stable position, then it got the speed of light, and from one point it is going to another point with a great frequency and momentum, and also a spin. This spin is being denoted as pi square. Why pi square? Pi equal to 180 degree. That is a full rotation, a full spin. When we are giving pi square, that means we are giving you the scope to denote the energy of two plates. I mentioned earlier there was two imaginary plates. Everything is spinning. Upper plate is also spinning, lower plate is also spinning, and this stable positions of the particle was there. It is running with the speed of light from one plate to another plate. So now, so far, F equal to minus h bar c pi square plus d to the power 4. Why d to the power 4? This d is being denoted for the distance was made from one position to another position. That is the difference between two plates. In the first position, we can say that F equal to minus h bar c pi square A, capital A, that is the area. And in this case, we can say the d to the power 4. That means distance is squared for getting a two-dimensional space, and for two plates, that is d to the power 4 divided by 240. This 240 is the normalization factor. If we consider it with a pi, then 180 degree plus 60 degree. That is total one rotation spin and then incomplete rotation, which gives the birth of some quasi-particles. Those have not integer spin. So this is the factor. If we give you consideration about the events taking place there, then for the first up, quantum vacuum fluctuation took place. After the quantum vacuum fluctuation, it got an oscillation. After getting the oscillation, it also got the reduced Planck constant. Then it got the light speed. Then it went to its spinning. Then it was placed from one place to another to create two plates. And in between these two plates, when the annihilation and creation took place, and naturally the attraction and repulsion took place, this is the force and this is the Casimir effect. and this is being denoted by Casimir effect. After this Casimir effect was done, then in between the two plates, the first particle taking birth is the pre-phase of graviton and anti-graviton, and some other particles and antiparticles. They are not visible, but they create this universe anyway. After this, it will go to Polykhop's action, and after the Polykhop actions, it will reach to the Dirichlet boundary condition to cross the dimension to make the quantum gravity loop. So the history of gravitation, the origination of the gravitation is actually hidden into the Casimir effect. So this is the Casimir effect, which has different properties. It takes birth from the quantum vacuum fluctuation. It gives you the notion of the part of an wave. It gives you the notion of the first force created before the universe was created. It is giving you the notion about the energy. It is giving you the notion about the first fundamental particle which was born from the string, because this part of the wave which was created between these two plates actually a string which is vibrating, and upon which vibration, depending what type of force carrier particle will be seen. So it is the father of force, that Casimir effect creates the force carrier particles, which is the fundamental particles creating all type of force hereafter. First gravitation, and then one by one the electromagnetic force, the weak nuclear force, and the strong nuclear force. So it is the wonderful story of the Casimir effect, and Casimir effect has always been focused everywhere. Everywhere there Casimir effect, everywhere there reduced Planck constant. This two event is being seen before the birth of the universe, at the evolution of the universe, and after the universe, in the invisible universe also. So this is the Casimir effect. I gave you the detailed descriptions. If you have any questions, you may put in the comment box. I will try to give you the answer. So for getting these wonderful and more interesting videos, more waking videos, more curious videos, you may subscribe our channel 7th Quantum Academy and tap the bell icon to get notified when the new videos related to it will be uploaded. This mystery, let it get mystery, to get the details about the gravitons, how gravitons was created, and how it will create the visible and invisible universe's first force. To know it, let me go now. A little goodbye. Have good days.